You said, I'll go forth. And if it does not feel good, I will understand that I've tapped into something that is activating a vibration within me, that is setting up some resistance to the well-being that really is natural to me. And that is the most important premise that we want to begin with. A lot of our physical friends still don't really understand this fully. They don't remember it. They know it at some level, but they don't remember it actively. And we see it as our greatest value to you, to help you to remember that well-being is the basis of your experience. Well-being is the stream that flows. There is not a stream of sickness. There is not a source of sickness. There's not a source of evil or darkness. You know that when you look into your world. You don't walk into a room and look for a dark switch. You know that there's not a dial on the wall that floods inky darkness into the room. You understand that you can resist the light or you can allow it to flow, but that there is not a source of night. You say the sun comes up and brings the light, but you don't say the blob comes up and brings the dark. There is not a source of darkness, and there is not a source of sickness, and there is not a source of evil. But there can be the tenacious holding to a thought that is so resistant in nature to the well-being that is natural that you might pinch off, too strong of word, but you could set up resistance to well-being. And when you do, the first sign of that will be negative emotion. It will feel like fear, or anger, or frustration, or overwhelmment. But if you keep doing it, and you practice the thought longer, the negative emotion will become a stronger signal. It will become physical sensation, manifestation. The absence of well-being manifests in ways that you call real. And the thing that messes you up is you say, and now it's real, it's valid to look at it. And we say, wait, did we miss something? So you said, I thought about it and it didn't feel good when I thought about it. But I kept thinking about it anyway. And the more I thought about it, the worse I felt. Until eventually, I really had a diminished experience as a result of thinking about it. And now my diminished experience has manifested. So now I'm going to write it down. I'm going to give it a label. I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to tell others. And we say, wait. Why are you spreading the bad news? And you say, because it's reality. And we say, but wait, it wasn't reality until you made it reality. Making it a reality only means you focused upon it. Why not make a reality that feels good? Because I have to be honest, you say. We say, honesty doesn't have anything to do with it. Whatever you are giving your attention to is what manifests. And friends, you have to go a long way to manifest unwanted things, because well-being is the order of this universe. Now we know that some of this sounds strange at first, because you've really been trained to be objective. You've been trained to weigh the pros and the cons and the pluses and the minuses, and that's all right. That's all part of the contrasting experience that helps you come to your focused desire. But once you have identified a preference, it is our powerful encouragement that you turn your attention to the preference and let the preference become the most active vibration within you. Every subject really is two subjects. It's like picking up a stick with two ends on it. And on one end of it is what you want, and on the other end of it is what you don't want. And all we are encouraging is that you orient yourself toward the end of every subject that feels good when you focus upon it. Because when you do so, then you don't use the subjects of your life as your justified reason to pinch off the well-being that we promise you would be there if you weren't doing that thing you do that pinches it off. If we'd gotten here sooner into your consciousness in a way that you could really hear us, it would have been easier for you because you wouldn't have developed those patterns of resistance. But it does not matter how strong your pattern of resistance is. It's an easy thing to release resistance. You just have to decide that feeling good means something. The legacy of well-being is huge. The influx of that pure energy coming forth in every moment with the birth of the new. All of the beautiful things in your environment, the ideas that are born within you. So much evidence of well-being around you. In fact, so much more evidence of well-being around you than evidence of not well-being that you have to look pretty hard. You have to get pretty good at it. You get to be very good scrutinizers. And in large part, we think it is because you feel a need to justify your existence through your hard work. You look around and you see others, and it is a comparative nature that you are born with because you are leading edge creators. The contrast is what helps you to conclude new desire. And when that new desire is born within you, we call it step one. Fresh, new, summoning desire. Summoning because when you ask, it is always given. Summoning desire. And source hearing the calling and answering immediately. It is a marriage made in heaven, literally. And then your only work is to find alignment with your desire. And our message to you is, if you will stop justifying the need for the new desire by beating the drum of where you stand, the new desires will flow so easily into your experience. You understand the value of being on the leading edge. You said, I want to be part of this leading edge environment because that is where the action is. That is where the clarity is. That is where the fulfillment is. You didn't say, I'll go forth into the most backward of environment ever. You said, I'll be part of this leading edge environment and I will benefit by all that has come to be understood and known. So in the same way that you grasp the concept easily of going with the current in your canoe or getting in your automobile rather than walking everywhere you go, you understand the benefit of the technology of your time-space reality in many regards. All we are suggesting is that you, out here on this leading edge of fantastic human creativity, source energy embodied in this flesh, blood, and bone body that is you. It is our powerful encouragement that you hook up with the current that is you and go with the flow. And the flow always feels good. The flow feels like love. The flow feels like enthusiasm. The flow feels like adventure. The flow feels like appreciation. The flow feels like adoration. The flow feels like, ooh, isn't that interesting? The flow feels like, ooh, isn't that beautiful? The flow feels like, what now? What next? What more? The flow feels like, ooh, I want something fun to do. The flow feels like, ooh, I want something interesting to do. The flow feels like, I do want to be of value. I want to assist others in discovering the upliftment of what being in the flow feels like. The flow feels like clarity. The flow feels like stability. The flow feels like stamina. The flow feels like unabashed enthusiasm. The flow feels like the 2-year-old shows you. Your dog running in the river shows you. There is evidence of the flow all around you. The flow is not being worried. The flow is not being angry. The flow is not fussing over some insignificant thing to try to justify your value because you already have value. The flow does not feel like sickness. It does not feel like frustration. It does not feel like overwhelmment. It does not feel like a need to justify your existence. The flow does not feel like unworthiness. The flow feels like enthusiasm. Now, all of these words that we've offered, they all sort of triggered feelings within you. You know the difference between enthusiasm and boredom. You know the difference between joy and anger. You can viscerally feel the difference that those words activate, but they are only words. The words do not mean anything. It is the way you feel that is the message that you are sending to the universe. Your emotions are your vibrational indicator that let you know. It's like a meter that in every moment lets you know the content of your vibration. And you are so gloriously mixed in that. In other words, sometimes you have a desire that when you focus upon it, shouts to the boundaries of the universe, and all that is resonates in the fabulous power of your desire. But if you've got one of those desires going and a great big wad of doubt about the same thing, I want this magnificent thing, and for a moment it was life-giving when I thought about it, but mostly I just hate that I even want it because I don't believe it at all. That feeling of discord is your indicator of the degree of resistance that you have. And there are two factors that give you your reading. The power of your desire summons the energy, and the degree to which you believe it or expect it allows or does not allow it. So if you really, really want something that you really, really don't believe, you've got fast-moving energy that you are not allowing to flow, and you've got strong negative emotion. The more it matters, the more you're going to feel around it. So if you feel really wonderful, it means you really want it, you've really got a current flowing, and you're really in vibrational harmony with what you want. And manifestations are popping up all around you. Evidences of the path of well-being that you are living, obvious to you. But if you are feeling strong negative emotion, it means you really want it, it really matters. Your life experience has caused you to focus a lot of energy. Energy is pulling through you in a strong way, but you've got this habit of thought that keeps being activated, that is just like the static on your radio that is keeping you from locking onto the signal. So, now that you know the power of your emotions, we think it will be easier for you to make and mean the statement that says, nothing is more important than that I feel good. But we want you to feel your way into alignment, not try to think your way into alignment. Because when you try to think your way into alignment, you think about the thing that is taking you out of alignment, and while you're thinking about the thing that is taking you out of alignment, it's taking you out of alignment. And so, as you think about the thing that's taking you out of alignment, and you think, I'm not going to think this thing that's taking me out of alignment, you're still thinking the thing that's taking you out of alignment, and you're still out of alignment. And the longer you stay out of alignment, the more you manifest what you don't want, and the more you observe what you don't want, the more you continue to keep that active. And so, what we want you to leave this gathering today with: two powerful awarenesses. One, nothing is more important than that I feel good. And two, I can be intimately aware in every moment of how I feel. It's easy to know how you feel. So, you want to know how you feel, and you want to care how you feel. That's it. I want to know how I feel, and I want to care it. I want it to matter how I feel. Because if it doesn't matter to you, if you have practiced not feeling good long enough that that feels normal, then this gathering is not going to do much for you, because as you keep beating the drum that doesn't feel very good, you say, no big deal, I'm used to it. I'm used to it. And we say, hear what you're saying. You're saying, I'm used to the emotion. I'm used to the discord. But listen further to what you're saying. I'm used to not getting what I want. I'm used to things not going well for me. I'm used to wanting this thing that is not coming. I'm used to disappointment. I'm used to not fulfilling who I really am. I'm used to not being the deliberate creator of my own experience. I'm used to resistance. Don't get used to that. It is not who you are. You are magnificent creators. You are powerful, leading-edge creators. You are joy. You are joy in human form. You are extensions of Source that is joy. Now we're fine-tuning here, because we know you all already know this. You are teachers in most cases to the very core of your being. You have come forth intending to get in sync with who you really are. We just want to remind you that it is for a different reason than often you conjure as you bang around. Your reason for existence is joy.